Developers Seed by Seed's newest game, Baladins, takes you on an addictive, choose-your-own-role-playing adventure in the chaotic, fantastical land of Gatherac. Here, you play as one of the members of the titular guild, filled with heroes on a mission to save Gatherac and their hometown's peaceful festival from an evil time dragon named as Colobra, taking them through the various towns and kingdoms as they endeavor to break the 6-week time loop that Colobra has trapped them in. Each paladin, or Baladin in this context, is named after the associated class, such as Bard, Cook, Pyro, Luxmancer, or the Dancer. Each class has a high stat in the particular skill that will be helpful as you progress through a new time loop. Now, let's get to the game. Baladin's skill system is similar to those found in other RPGs, where the higher the number you have in the skill you're using, the more likely you'll succeed in random encounters or secure an excellent ending in your current quest. However, there are a few different skills to use in Baladins. I was pleasantly surprised by the variety of ways I could use my skills to continue the game story in ways that I didn't expect through my playthrough. There are standard strengths and knowledge skills, but there are also skills such as destruction, which can cause chaos in a random encounter or a quest that you're trying to complete. There's also creativity, which can come up with good ideas to solve an issue, and finesse, which can be used to perform stealth-based actions like being sneaky or doing something without getting caught and suffering consequences. Performing actions such as traveling through the map, training to get more points for your skills, talking to characters, or performing skill-based challenges such as completing various food or drinking contests will take actions or traveling points to perform, and the game offers you 6 long terms for each loop, which in turn represents a week in the game, that you can have until Colobra's arrival and the loop ends. This game loop caused me to pause a few times so I could think about what I wanted to do next during my current turn, making me further consider what's important during a loop. For example, I could have helped Sebaste, the town's crier, who's having some issues with his audience, or Gabby, the wise cleric, who has writer's block. Luckily, visiting various towns and caravans around Gatherac allowed me to buy potions, which not only allowed me to increase my actions or traveling points to extend my turns, but also temporarily increases some of my skills, which becomes pretty useful in giving me more turns to finish quests, find more information, or help stop Colobra. Certain actions, such as helping a character with a problem or encountering a random encounter during your travels, will also require players to perform a skill check by rolling 3-sided dice in a cup. Failing these skill checks could result in your character losing gold or a skill point, but I found that they're fairly easy to do during my playthrough, and I managed to complete most of the events or challenges that a character had set out for me, such as completing the 3 trials hosted by Honorata, a member of the Spellbound, or trying to defeat Philomena, the barmaid, at a drinking contest. While some skill checks related to quests did require me to go back and train a skill at a certain location in order to continue with completing it, it only ever took a few action points to do so. Most of the quests have various endings that the game encourages you to find through each loop that you go through, such as quests that have bad endings where misfortunes will befall a character you were trying to help, but quests also have good endings too. I found most of the endings to the quest amusing and hilarious and fitting the game's sense of humor, with most of the characters' dialogue earning a chuckle from me from time to time. Even Colobra was funny whenever he appeared at the end of a current loop. However, some ways to complete quests will often require players to wait for the next loop to find the correct answer to complete a quest or move the story forward. This was a pretty interesting mechanic, and it gave me time to complete other quests that I wanted to finish before the loop ended. While the dragon will eat all of your items that you collected during every loop, you are allowed to keep one item with you for the next loop. However, the Baladin you are currently playing as will be the only one to carry that item. You can also get the item again by redoing the quest that you got it from in the next loop. There's an option to feed the dragon items that will slowly cause a gauge related to Colobra to increase. Depending on the item you feed the dragon, the gauge will increase tremendously or very little. And for anyone who plays, Baladin boasts a colorful kids' picture book-like setting. Each area feels like it came out of a children's TV show or book, with characters looking like paper cutouts. I honestly found a bit of joy in every environment that I explored. While playing, I did come across a few glitches. One such example was the game suddenly freezing when I gave a character the wrong item, which forced me to reset my current loop. While I didn't mind this, other players will likely feel frustration at having to redo their loop again, but this may be patched out. Hopefully it is. At the end of the day, I really enjoyed playing Baladins. I found myself addicted to trying to complete each quest and hopefully find a new way to break everyone out of Colobra's time loops. Although while playing a glitch caused me to reset my loop, I wasn't annoyed with redoing it itself. In fact, it left me intrigued by how I would perform it a different way. I had the most fun with the quest's various endings, and I loved trying to find out how to get them all after the quest was finished. It's a charming and whimsical experience that could easily deliver a few weeks of time loop RPG fun for anyone who plays. NoisyPixel is giving Baladins an 8.5 out of 10. Thanks for watching. This video is brought to you by our supporters on Patreon. NoisyPixel is run by a group of gamers providing independent gaming coverage through news, reviews, previews, and more. Check out our Patreon to help support our continued growth and subscribe to keep up with all our future content.
NoisyPixel.